Okay, finishing up 10.2. You guys are going to have a quiz on this next Wednesday. So in class on Monday, I will give you all the quiz review. So while the seniors are taking their quiz, you guys can just work on the quiz review. Very straightforward, very basic. It's not anything that's going to be trying to be tricky or anything, but your quiz will be on Wednesday. We'll go over the review on Tuesday. But we did not talk yesterday about if vectors in space. The only thing that's different from our 6.3, 6.4 stuff with vectors is instead of 2D, you have 3. This is a 3D vector, so you're in like a 3D space. So you have one extra number to worry about. If something is orthogonal, if a vector is orthogonal, the dot product is 0. So if you were going to see if U and V were orthogonal, you would find the dot product. So you'd say first times first. So 4 times -1 plus second times second, 8 times -2, and then third times third. So plus 2 times -1/2. So 4 times 1 is -4. This is -16. And then what? -1? Is that going to give you 0? No. So are those two things orthogonal? No. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay. Could you just tell by looking? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Like you could see right now that U and Z, if you did the dot product, look at U and Z. U and Z have the same first two numbers, right? The last one's not the same, but there's nothing that's being subtracted. There's no negative numbers. So if you multiplied first times first plus second times second, you're not going to get a negative. But when you are asked to find if the if the vectors are orthogonal, you have to show your work. You just find the dot product, and the answer is 0. What does it mean if they are orthogonal? They meet at what? Yeah, perpendicular. Good, 90-degree angle, perpendicular. Look at you. All right, so let's just review. For those of us who weren't here, here's a little recap of everything. This is a 3D vector. There's 3 different letters. That means you're going to have a vector that has 3 numbers. So what is the U vector? What would I write? What's your first value? -1. What's the second value? +6. What's the third value? -7. God bless you. Look at vector V. All right, this is still a vector, a 3D vector in space. What is the first value? 1/2. Okay, what is the value for J, guys? 0, because there isn't one, and then 12, correct? All right, don't make a silly mistake there and make that a 1. There is no J, that's why that would be 0. So now if you're going to do all the stuff that I'm asking you to do here, you just use your math skills. -3 into V, that means -3 into the V vector, so it's 1/2, 0, and 12, and then you have -6 into U, so -1, 6, -7. Do you have to write your vectors like this when you're working these? No. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes. Just get the letters out of the way. So the first thing I would do here is I'm going to distribute this -3 all the way through. So -3 times 1/2 is going to give me -3/2. -3 times 0 is 0, and -3 times 12 is -4, correct? Now, I'm going to change the sign in the middle here to a plus, and I'm going to distribute a -6. If you don't want to do that, if you just want to distribute 6 and leave a minus sign in the middle, you'll get the same thing. What's up?
How did you get -4?
12 divided by... Oh, why did I divide? Thank you. Did you do the same thing? I don't know why my brain just did that. Sorry, -3 times 12 is what? -36? Yeah? Thank you. I'm sorry. I have no idea why I divided. So now I'm going to distribute that -6. So -6 and -1 is 6. -6 and +6 is -36. And then -6 and -7 is what? +42. Now, again, if you kept a minus there, your signs would be -6, +36, -42, whatever you want to do. And now we're going to combine. On your quiz, you're not going to use calculators, and it will say no decimals, so you're going to have to do a little bit of math here, guys. If I have -3/2 plus 6, well, if I was going to change 6 into halves, what would it be? 12/2. Okay, so you could think of it like this, 12/2. So if I have -3 plus 12, what does that give me? God bless. 9 over 2, okay, comma, then 0 plus negative 36 is negative 36, and then negative 36 plus 42 is how much? Positive 6, and then there's your answer. Just a lot of math. Look at number 2. What should you do first? You do the parentheses first. I'm going to rewrite the 1/3 out here. It's going to hang out. And then I'm going to just write in what this is saying. This is saying negative u. I'm going to go ahead and put a negative 1 out in front and write my u vector. So negative 1, 6, negative 7. Negative 1, 6, negative 7. And then I have plus 5 and my v vector. So 1/2, 0, and 12. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and distribute my negative 1. So I have 1/3 on the outside here. This becomes positive 1, negative 6, positive 7, correct? And then let's go ahead and distribute this 5. So I still have my plus. So this becomes 5 over 2, 0, and 60. Good. Now, do I do anything with that 1/3 yet? No, we're going to still keep that 1/3. It's still hanging out here. I'm going to now add. This is what we're doing. We're adding vectors. So I have 1 plus 5 halves. Well, 1 is the same as 2 over 2, correct? So 2 over 2 plus 5 over 2 is 7 over 2. 7 halves, good. Negative 6 and 0 is negative 6. And then 7 and 60 is 67. And then what is the last thing I need to do? Distribute your 1/3. Now I'm dividing by 3, right? Now we will. So if I distribute this, what is 1/3 times 7 over 2? Sorry, this should be in vectors. Should be 7 over 6, good. And then what's 1/3 times negative 6? Negative 2, good. And then 67 over 3, is that going to simplify it all? Okay, so just leave it. There you go. Good. And then u, what does that want me to do with u? Is that the absolute value of u? No, what is it? Begins with an M. Magnitude, just the length. So we're going to square each part of our u vector. So negative 1 squared, 6 squared, and negative 7 squared, correct? And then what do I do with those values that do I add them or do I subtract them? You're adding them, good. So we just simplify now. Negative 1 squared is 1, plus 6 squared is 36, plus 7 squared is 49. Now I'm going to add. 1 and 49 is 50, plus 36 is square root of 86. Now, guys, should your answer ever be negative here? No. So if you get a negative, then you did something wrong. Should I leave it as just square root of 86? Well, let's see if it breaks down. If it doesn't, then yeah, we can leave it. So 86. If I divide that by 2, it's 40 what? 43. Okay, what goes into 43? 2? No, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's your answer? Square root of 86. But always check to see if you can break it down. Make sense? All right, finito.